Hi, I'm Maddie. Welcome to episode number 4 of Off the Clock, and today we're here with Ryan Levesque from Bonnie's hockey team.
Hi guys, my name is Ryan Levesque. I'm from Reddington, New Jersey.
When did hockey first become a big part of your life?
I would say, so I started playing hockey when I was 6, and when I realized like it was going to be a big part of my life was probably around that. Actually, I was considered a late bloomer, so I would say probably around that age of like 15. I realized that it was kind of like, it was more so like a crutch to me. It was more so something that I can turn to at the end of my day if I was having a bad day or something, whether it be practice or a game or anything. It was something that I looked forward to. It was something that I looked forward to doing, and I realized that it was going to be a big part of my life when I kind of saw a little bit of development from all around the ice, on and off the ice, and then I realized that it was going to be something that helped me develop my mind, my body, my mentality, kind of just everything in life.
How would you describe your playing style, and what role do you see yourself bringing to the team this season?
I would say my playing style. I mean, I was always kind of like, you can say in a hockey term, a stick on puck guy. More so lifting sticks and stuff like that, going into corners, battling, and all that stuff. I kind of changed that throughout the course of my, I guess you could say, career. I started becoming more of a guy that would have a shoot first mentality. When I had the puck on my stick, I started using my body more, playing more physically. I tried to use my base and my body to kind of dictate the pace and play on the ice. And for my role here, I'm open to anything. I'm here more so of just wherever the guys want me, wherever coach needs me. I'm very flexible about that, and I think that my role here is what I make of it. I think that I'm going to go out I know that I'm going to go out every single time I step on that ice, whether it be practice, in the gym, even off the ice, or in a game. I'm going to give it all I got. So.
And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's coming here, every college is what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, it's always what you decide you want to be.
Yep.
So you wear number 91 on your jersey.
Yeah.
Is there a story or a reason behind that number?
No.
Or did you just pick it?
So I've always liked the 9s. I was 19. I was 9. I was 9 in high school. I was 19 a little bit in youth, and then I was also 91 in youth. And then when I was younger, I was 99. So it was all really, I mean, I had like the option of 91 here, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, like, let's do it. So
Just sticking to the trend.
yes, absolutely.
So you played junior hockey for, forgive me if I say it wrong, Worcester Junior Whalers?
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Okay.
it's Worcester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Worcester. I know.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, it's Worcester. Yeah, so that was last year. It was a great experience. It's about 4.5 hours from home.
Oh.
So I was up there from August, and we finished in early April. So I was there for a while, and it's more so, it's really just hockey. It's really no school. I mean, I took an online course to kind of keep myself going with school.
Yeah.
That way, when I eventually go to college, and when I came here, I wasn't all like, dry on the subject or anything like that from school perspective.
Do you have any favorite memories from that season and that team?
I don't know. I would say like all the guys made it awesome. I mean, we lived in a house of 35 guys. So
That's a lot of
we had 2 teams in our program. So there was like, it was the higher team and the lower team, and they both kind of lived together. And it was interesting. There's a lot of good experiences in that house, whether we watched sports games or whatever it may be, the World Juniors and everything like that. But it was a great time. It was definitely a new experience, something that I kind of learned how to live on my own, how to manage. Like going to practice every day. We'd probably be at the rink from, I would say, 8:45, and we'd probably get out of there at like 2:30. So that's Monday through Friday, and we'd have games and implemented in there. So I think it was like a 60-game season. So
that was kind of your transition from high
Yeah.
school to college, is you had those gap years
Yeah.
to learned slowly how that transition is going to be, and now you're juggling school and
Yeah.
hockey together. What has that been like for you?
So it was definitely, I definitely anticipated it was going to be something a little challenging in the beginning. I definitely thought living away from home for that 1 year was definitely going to be beneficial to this transition to college. But I also thought that, I definitely thought adding classes now, adding that homework, adding that studying was going to be definitely something that I had to get myself adjusted to. And I think that's kind of how everything is, how everyone's feeling. I'm not alone in that boat.
No, definitely not.
So, but it took me, I would say it took me about like a good week and a half to kind of get settled and everything. But now it's like, it's flowing. So it's going well.
You get in the groove of things.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing day in and day out.
Yeah.
So you mentioned in your recruiting profile that you've always aimed to play college hockey and major in psychology.
Yeah.
How has that dream evolved now that you're living it?
It's going great. I mean, I'm a big believer in God, so
Yeah.
I think that God has a reason for everything. I believe that He's got a path for me, and I'm here to follow it, and wherever it takes me, and it took me here. From a psychology perspective, I've always been interested in helping people out. Like going into the field, talking like this one-on-one with people. Just trying to help them out, trying to help with their, problem-solving techniques or anything like that in life. And overall, trying to have a positive impact on them and trying to have a positive impact on their overall livelihood and, make them smile. So that was something that I've always been very passionate about. And that started from early on. I had a good idea that I wanted to major in psych and this is what I wanted to do. When I saw it happening in the real world, like I've seen like people come in like assemblies in like middle school or whatever and talk about these things, and I was always fascinated by it. So
How does that necessarily play into your hockey career with the team and your friendships or back home? Does it have a greater effect on your overall life and not just your career path?
yeah, I think that from having that different perspective and different view of things, I think can kind of help me guide conversations differently or interactions a little differently. But obviously, like not every interaction is going to be like something where, okay, like I'm interested in this. This is going to help me out in this conversation. Like it's not, But I think overall, I think that it's very beneficial. Kind of like putting yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
And thinking about things in the big picture and how would I like this if this was said to me.
Right.
And I think that it helps me out a lot. It kind of helps me see a person in a different sense of where like sometimes you just judge a person based off of appearance or whatever it may be. Whereas I'm a person that like, I want to get to know someone. I want to get to know like as much as I can. Obviously I'm not in their lives, so I can't know all of that stuff, but I'm definitely here to listen and give my best foot forward and advice to help them out.
So how would you describe the team's chemistry this season, and who is someone that keeps the energy up in the locker room?
Well, energy, I would say Sammy Renaud. He's great. He's great on and off the ice. He's a great guy that we turn to for energy. He's a freshman, but he's got, he brings a lot of like firepower and excitement and everything and energy to the team and emotion, which is awesome. And then I would say the chemistry has been getting better. Our record has been excelling recently.
Yeah.
I think we were a little hesitant at first. I think kind of getting, into the groove of everything, finding those line chemistry, matching lines and all that stuff, and kind of getting the flow of practice and the intensity up and everything and where really everyone's mindset was at. And then I think as it's going to keep on getting better, and of course there'll be days where it may not go well, we may have a bad practice or something like that, but I think we're building skills to where like we can bounce back and have an even better practice after a practice may go not as planned. So.
What was it like scoring your first hat trick versus UB earlier this season?
It was awesome. It was great. I mean, I really, I'm very grateful to have, an opportunity to go out and play the game that I love every day. I understand there is like a lot of people out there that don't get that opportunity, so I try my best not to take any of it for granted. And something like that, I was never really like a hat trick guy or really a big goal scorer growing up in youth. So it was kind of awesome to have that experience, especially from my first year in college. It was great, and as long as we get a win, it doesn't matter for the score sheet, I think, and that's how I've always been. But it was definitely a good add-on to have that.
And after that happened, was there anybody in your family that you made your first phone call to?
Yeah, my grandparents.
Really?
Yeah, I called my grandparents, my nonna, my grandpa. They're people, they always shoot me a text after every game, saying that they love me and I played great. And, I don't think they'll ever say I didn't play great, that's how,
that's what grandparents
that's how
do.
grandparents
That's what they're there for.
But, I love them. And I called them. I just wanted to say, I told them, I said, I appreciate all your support through everything, because realistically without them, and even, the next call I made was to my parents, obviously. And I kind of told them along the lines of the same thing was, I wouldn't be where I am without you guys, and your support's been, unbelievable. And having them in my life, really kind of propelled me and really motivated me to try to become the best version of myself. So
what is your pregame routine like, and do you have any superstitions?
Yeah, I'm a very superstitious guy. Yeah. So even my roommates, they kind of make a joke out of it sometimes. But I get to the games probably like 3 hours early.
Really?
Yeah, I'm usually the first one there. I kind of just go through a bunch of different variations of stretching, because I think injury in the past last year was definitely a big thing for me. So it kind of taught me a lot of new things about kind of getting yourself prepared mentally. So I'd go to the rink, stretch, tape my stick, all that stuff, make sure my skates are all good. I'm sure a lot of the guys will back this up. I'm very meticulous about my blades and how they're sharpened and everything. But I think that kind of getting there early, getting myself mentally set and ready to go. I'll say a prayer before the game, every game. And then sometimes Father Dave comes in and says a prayer for the team, so it's kind of awesome. So,
has the team given you any nicknames, or your family given you any nicknames, and how did you get them?
So it's Lev, Levy. I actually got the nickname Lev from actually a former baseball coach from 13U. He just started calling me it, and it's stuck with me ever since, because I think a lot of people don't really know how to say my last name, so it's definitely, I think it's easier. It's 3 letters, so it's stuck with me, and that's really, I don't hear the name Ryan often, and if I do, I kind of look at them and be like you probably, I'm not sure if you really know me well yet, or it's something like that. So
does Coach even call you Lev, or does he?
Yeah, he's got nicknames for everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he calls me Levy. So he'll say Levy's line, or our other center, he'll say Menzie, Menzie's line. So it's cool. Hockey's a big nickname, and I feel like sports are in general a big nickname world.
Definitely, no matter where you are in sports.
I feel like if you don't have a nickname,
every coach has got something to call you.
Exactly. So.
What's something about you that most people wouldn't guess by just watching you play?
Ooh, I'm a nervous person.
Really?
I'm a very nervous person. Yeah. I was nervous. I'm nervous leading up to the game, and then when I get on the ice, that's what I was talking about in the beginning, was kind of that crutch of something that I step on that ice and it just all goes away. It's just me and the ice. It's me and the sport that I love to play. So leading up to it, there's definitely nerves, and I feel like that's kind of common for everyone. I'm not sure if I present as a nervous person or anything like
Definitely
that.
not. I wouldn't say so.
So, but yeah, definitely nerves. But nerves can be kind of interpreted and taken in 2 different types of contexts. You can use the nerves to kind of enhance your performance and kind of be you kind of harness them, or you can use it to kind of kind of derail your performance, and kind of get it in your head and everything like that. But I've always been a person that's it's really kind of just blanking out, just kind of shutting them out and be all right, I get to do what I love to do right now. I don't really care about the nerves,
So what's your favorite rink or arena you've played in over the years?
Ooh, I don't know the name of the rink, but it was a rink out in Minnesota. So we went there. I have a bunch of videos. We got to walk out of a tunnel. It holds about 10,000 people, so it was awesome. And that was when I was younger. I was probably, I think, 14. but it was such an amazing experience. And it was with teams all around the country. So like California, wherever it was. And they all came together. It was a big event, and we did well. Lost in the quarters, and the team we lost to ended up winning the finals, which kind of stung. But it was a great experience. That rink was awesome to play in. Even though the 10,000 wasn't filled, it's not like a Penn State game or whatever. It's not like a Big Ten game, but it's a great environment to play in.
So you're from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
What's the furthest you've traveled for a hockey game?
Ooh, okay. So thinking about it, I would say it'd have to be a plane ride. I would have to go to Michigan or Minnesota. Those are probably the two biggest from a driving perspective. Here.
Really?
Here, yeah, upstate New York, in the Buffalo area. I would say Massachusetts, but some parts of Massachusetts are closer than this. So definitely maybe Vermont, like it's that 5-hour range of a drive. But yeah, and then the plane ride to Michigan and Minnesota. So.
What's it like flying on a plane with a team of hockey players?
It's fun. I'm not a fan of flying to begin with. Yeah.
I am not.
No, I'm not a fan of flying. I'll be all right, but it's not something that I would I'd be like, oh, let's go on a plane, like let's fly. But it's fun. Sitting with the guys definitely doesn't make it dull. It makes it definitely the experience better and everything like that. Just being there around your teams, like there's like you sit around everyone and you kind of talk about stuff, you joke around on a plane and everything like that. It makes the experience a whole lot better.
So when you're not at practice or in class, what do you usually do to relax and recharge?
I would say I call my buddies from home. I talk to them a little bit, get caught up with them because their schedules are different than mine. Usually the breaks that I have, besides Christmas and maybe a little bit of Thanksgiving, I don't really get to see them often, so definitely giving them a call. I talk to my one buddy. He goes to University of Michigan, so he's great. I usually give him a call pretty much every day. We talk. So he's another person that's been really supportive to me throughout all this. I met him in high school, my junior year. My first junior year I took two because I transferred to prep school, but I met him at public school, and he's been awesome. He's been great. He's been a great support system. He's like a brother to me, so I appreciate him, and then I appreciate all my other buddies in that group as well.
So when you go home over breaks and stuff like that, is there one go-to place that you and all your buddies will go hang out?
It's usually the kid's house. The kid from Michigan's house, unfortunately. Ty, if you're watching this, unfortunately it is true. I know sometimes maybe his parents won't like all of us there, but I think it's a great time to get all the guys there. I appreciate him and his family for having us, because obviously some people aren't really like they're very flexible with having people over. They're very welcoming.
You gotta find the kid with the cool parents.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, all the parents in our group are cool, but they're very flexible, very welcoming. So that's kind of the place that we end up going to, just to kind of see each other, a little reunion and all that stuff.
So with this being your first semester here, what's been the toughest part, and how have you handled it?
I would say the toughest part is finding that kind of healthy balance from everything, from school, from hockey. Just those are the two biggest things I think was going to be the challenge for me, kind of balancing all that, the workload, and then the workload of hockey. It's two things that, okay, I got practice today. Like I kind of have to plan my day out every day, around my schedule for classes, around my schedule for hockey. So I think that was the biggest challenge so far that I've had here. And I think that it's been going well. Obviously with different semesters coming up, things are going to change, but I'm definitely I'm looking forward to a change. I'm always open to change. I think that it develops you. I think that, learning how to adapt to different situations and all that stuff is very beneficial towards like your overall growth. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining this week's episode of Off the Clock with Ryan Levesque, and thanks for coming on. Stay tuned for new episodes dropping every Friday, and next week we have women's soccer Hannah Smith joining us. So we'll see you then. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.